When the ale hall flared, all eyes darted to the bar's entrance, except one pair of human eyes, fixed quietly on the far corner. In that dimly lit room, with dozens of alien patrons armed to the teeth, everyone knew the man no one spoke to was the one they all feared. The Cantina Eclipse hummed with the low murmur of illicit deals being struck beneath the pulsing neon lights. Located on the Central Space Station, Sagittarius 7, Eclipse had earned its reputation as the nexus of illegal trade in the sector. Holographic advertisements flickered against the vast viewing window that showcased the endless void of space, stars glimmering like distant promises of escape. In the year 2543 of the Unified Era, most planets had been colonized, but the region surrounding Sagittarius 7, known as the Confluence, remained a lawless center of interplanetary crime. Despite the nominal oversight of the Unified Accord, every form of transaction, gambling, and smuggling happened openly in Eclipse, a testament to the Cantina's unofficial diplomatic immunity. Cole, Red Marcus, sat alone at a corner table, nursing a synthetic whiskey. His vivid red hair, a rarity among the predominantly blue and gray-skinned aliens, made him impossible to miss, despite his attempts to blend into the shadows. The once elite mercenary from the now disbanded Black Halcyon squad kept his eyes moving, cataloging each patron, exit, and potential threat with practiced precision. His goal was simple: stay alive and find a way off the station and out of the brutal criminal networks that had ensnared him. Ever since the failed mission at Venera 6 3 years ago, he'd been living as a ghost, severed from his former identity, his former teammates scattered to the cosmic winds. Captain Luya Var, the Zexal proprietor of the Eclipse, surveyed her establishment from behind the bar. One of her eyes had been replaced with an optical scanning device that constantly assessed threat levels, profit margins, and the sobriety of her patrons. She noticed Cole watching the room and narrowed her remaining organic eye. Humans rarely came to this part of the station, and those who did never stayed long. Above the bar, the HM-26 hologram lamp, affectionately nicknamed Haley by the regulars, flickered with subtle color changes, its embedded AI monitoring the tension barometer within the cantina. Currently, the hologram pulsed a steady amber, indicating moderate unease but no immediate danger. The political and criminal landscape of Sagittarius 7 was dominated by two major syndicates, the Black Tiger Triad and the Six-Fingered Gray Syndicate. Their ongoing power struggle had recently escalated, with rumors of imminent territory wars circulating through the station's underbelly. Cole inhaled deeply, tasting the faint, radioactive smoke that permeated the air, mixed with the acrid scent of contraband liquor and the metallic tang of the bar's service droids. A Dranoth gambler flashed his tusks in a hollow smile as he collected his winnings from a disgruntled Makor merchant, a silver laser blade glinting between his fingers, a not-so-subtle reminder that debts here were paid one way or another. After finishing his drink, Cole pushed himself up from the table and approached the bar to settle his tab. As he placed his payment chip on the counter, the cantina doors burst open. The ambient chatter died instantly as a squad of black uniformed figures from the Black Tiger Triad stormed into Eclipse, their leader swiftly disarming Luya Var with practiced efficiency. Red warning lights bathed the cantina in a crimson glow as Haley's color shifted to a pulsing scarlet. Cole froze, assessing the situation as the Triad's second-in-command pointed directly at him. "That one," the enforcer snarled, revealing serrated teeth. "The human with the red hair. He's a Unified Accord spy." The accusation rippled through the crowd. A Dranoth patron threatened to call the station guards, while a Zexal enforcer, known as Shadow Wraith, drew a plasma pistol and aimed it squarely at Cole's chest. Cole realized immediately this was a setup. If the Black Tiger Triad captured him, he'd face a mock trial, followed by immediate execution. His mind raced through options, as the patrons backed away, creating a dangerous clearing around him. In that tense moment, Haley's hologram intensified, alerting everyone to the escalating pressure. Yet, while others averted their gazes in fear, Cole stared directly back at his accusers. The entire cantina fell silent. Cole was the only one who dared meet their eyes. With deliberate slowness, Cole pulled back his jacket, revealing a weapon holstered at his side. A Javelin Mach-E 3 electromagnet pistol, standard issue only for elite Unified Accord operatives. The specialized weapon confirmed his former high-level status, something he'd been careful to hide until now. A plasma shot whizzed past his ear, singing the wall behind him. Cole reacted instantly, kicking out the legs of the nearest assailant and sending him crashing to the floor. Chaos erupted as private security forces and gang members opened fire simultaneously, creating the perfect storm of confusion and the central conflict that would define Cole's future. Cole, Javelin, Marcus, versus both the Black Tiger Triad and the Unified Accord itself. Cole fired strategically at the ceiling lights, plunging sections of the cantina into darkness as he sprinted toward the maintenance corridor. The eclipse erupted into pandemonium as patrons dove for cover or fled toward the exits. Cole navigated through the GE level of the cantina, his boots echoing on the metal grating as he searched for access to the lower docking bays. Holographic advertisements cast shifting shadows across his path, their distorted projections creating a disorienting maze of light and darkness. Cole ducked behind a waste disposal unit as a patrol of armed guards rushed past, their flashlights sweeping the corridor. Just as he thought he'd found a clear path to the service tunnels, Cole spotted another threat. Members of the Six-Fingered Gray Syndicate had deployed, spreading out through the lower levels. Unlike the Black Tigers, they moved with disciplined precision. They weren't trying to kill him. They wanted him alive, likely under secret orders from the Unified Accord to extract information. As Cole pressed himself against a maintenance shaft, memories flooded back. 3 years ago, he had commanded the Black Halcyon Squad, an elite team handling the Unified Accord's most sensitive operations. His team had been the best, My Viper Santos, their Vietnamese descent sniper with unparalleled accuracy, Ryan Crescent Thar, the psychological operations specialist with his trademark crooked smile. Their final mission to Venera 6 had gone catastrophically wrong. When the extraction failed and operatives were lost, Cole had taken full responsibility and disappeared without a trace, leaving behind his identity, his team, and his life. The sound of approaching footsteps jolted Cole back to the present. He slipped through a narrow maintenance corridor, following the emergency lighting toward the docking bay. As he rounded the corner, he came face to face with a towering 2.2 meters XL, the infamous enforcer known as Shadow Wraith. Cole raised his javelin, finger on the trigger, but the Zexel raised his hands in a surprising gesture of peace. "Lower your weapon, Cole," the Zexal said quietly. "I'm not here to capture you." "Give me one reason I shouldn't put a hole in your chest right now," Cole replied, his aim unwavering. "Because I served with you on Venera 6, the Zexal said. "My real name is Garrick Zen. You knew me as Wraith when I was part of your reconnaissance team." Cole's eyes widened in recognition, though he kept his weapon raised. "Prove it. The last words you said to the team before the extraction went wrong. Whatever happens, the mission comes first, but the team comes home." Wraith's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "We all came home except you, Commander." Cole lowered his weapon slowly, still wary. "What are you doing here, Wraith?" The Zexal produced a small medical injector. "This is a temporary biosignature mask. It will hide your biometric readings for about 12 hours. He pressed it against Cole's neck, without waiting for permission. "After that, the Unified Accord will issue Operation Whiteout, a shoot-on-sight order for all their operatives. You need to disappear again, this time permanently." Cole winced at the injection. "Why help me now?" "Because my Santos is alive," Wraith said. She's hiding on Lakor Prime, a frontier world. She has evidence about what really happened on Venera 6. Evidence that could clear your name. Mai's alive. Cole felt a surge of emotion he'd long thought buried. I searched everywhere after the explosion. She believes you abandoned her, Wraith said bluntly. But she's the only one who knows why the mission really failed. Find her on Lakor Prime. Get her evidence. And maybe you can stop Operation Whiteout before it begins. Cole didn't hesitate. How do we get to Lakor Prime? I have a small pirate-class scout ship docked in Bay 22. We can be off station in 20 minutes if we hurry. As they navigated toward the docking bay, Captain Luya Var intercepted them at a security checkpoint. The Zexal proprietor's scanning eye whirred as she assessed them. Leaving so soon after bringing chaos to my establishment? She asked, her voice deceptively calm. We had no choice, Cole replied. The Triad set me up. Choice or not, you've destabilized my business, Luya said. The Eclipse Vanguard will need to be compensated for their discretion. Cole understood the implicit threat. How much? 50,000 credits should suffice. Luya's mechanical eye focused with precision. Consider it insurance against future complications. Cole transferred the credits from an anonymous account, nearly everything he had saved over 3 years of hiding. As the transaction completed, Luya stepped aside. The holographic slider at customs has been temporarily disabled, she said. You have 8 minutes before it reactivates. They boarded Wraith's ship with minutes to spare, falsifying their genetic signatures at the final checkpoint. As the ship detached from Sagittarius 7, Cole watched the sprawling space station recede through the viewport, wondering if he would ever return, or if he even wanted to. Lakor Prime loomed before them after a tense 12-hour journey through hyperspace. The planet's purple-blue atmosphere swirled with metallic storms, its surface scarred by rivers of naturally occurring acid that released plumes of caustic smoke into the air. This primordial world had attracted only the most desperate or dangerous colonists, making it perfect for someone trying to disappear. As they initiated landing protocols, Wraith detected incoming communications. Lakor Rangers, he explained, referring to the local mercenary contingent. They're led by Major Jorik Ironclaw, a Dranoth warlord who controls this sector. Word of the bounty on your head has already reached them. How much am I worth these days? Cole asked grimly. Enough to make us very popular, Wraith replied. We'll need to avoid the main settlement and head directly to the coordinates Mai provided. They landed in a remote valley, far from the established outposts, but their arrival hadn't gone unnoticed. As they disembarked, a squad of Lakor Rangers emerged from the acid-resistant foliage, weapons trained on them. That's far enough, growled the lead mercenary, a scarred human with augmented vision implants. By order of Major Ironclaw, you're to be detained for questioning. Cole assessed the situation. 4 Rangers, moderately armed, likely expecting an easy capture. He exchanged a glance with Wraith, who subtly shifted his position to create a crossfire opportunity. I'm afraid we have prior commitments, Cole said calmly, then exploded into action. He launched himself at the nearest Ranger, disarming him with a precise strike to the nerve cluster in his wrist. The Black Halcyon combat training flooded back as Cole moved with fluid efficiency, incapacitating a second Ranger, while Wraith created a diversion with a flash grenade. Within seconds, the Rangers lay unconscious or disoriented, and Cole stood in the center, barely winded, a glimpse of the elite operative he once had been. He collected their communication devices, disabling the tracking functions. We should move quickly, he said. When these 4 don't report back, Ironclaw will send more. As they secured the ship and prepared to move out, Cole's portable communicator chimed with an encrypted message from an address marked only as VN Stan, Mai's personal code. The message contained coordinates to the Kasharian ruins, the remnants of the pre-Tronic civilization that had once inhabited Lakor Prime. The journey to the ruins required traversing an acid forest, where trees had evolved to process the caustic environment, Their bark crystallized into protective shells. As they picked their way through the hazardous terrain, Cole's thoughts turned to Mai. She had been more than just a teammate. There had been something unspoken between them, something cut short by the disaster at Venera 6. "She waited for you, you know," Wraith said, breaking the silence. "After Venera 6, when everyone else accepted you were gone, Mai kept searching. She only stopped when the Unified Accord declared you a traitor." Cole felt the familiar weight of guilt pressing down on him. "I never abandoned the team willingly. When the reactor started to melt down, I tried to reach her position, but the explosion—" "Save it for Mai," Wraith interrupted. "She's the one who needs to hear it." The Kasharian ruins emerged from the mist as they crested a ridge. Massive fallen columns covered in luminescent moss that glowed with an eerie blue light in the perpetual twilight of Lakor Prime. Ancient structures of an unknown material stood partially submerged in pools of bubbling acid, testament to a civilization long extinct. In the center of the ruins, a small figure crouched beside an antiquated signal receiver. Mai Viper Santos wore a partial stealth suit that rendered sections of her body translucent. The geodesic scope of her precision rifle slung across her back. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical braid, and her face, once open and trusting, had hardened into a mask of caution. She spotted them immediately, her rifle raised before Cole could speak. "That's close enough," she called, her voice carrying across the ruins. "Wraith, I told you to come alone." "The situation changed," Wraith replied, raising his hands. "Cole needed to find you before the Unified Accord issues Operation Whiteout." Mai's gaze shifted to Cole, her expression unreadable. "So the ghost returns. 3 years without a word. And now you need my help." Cole stepped forward, ignoring the rifle aimed at his chest. "Mai, I never abandoned you at Venera 6. When the reactor exploded, I was trapped under debris. By the time I got free, the extraction team had already left, and I had no way to contact any of you." "Convenient explanation," Mai said, though her rifle lowered slightly. "Why should I believe you now?" "Because I need the truth as much as you do," Cole replied. "Wraith says you have evidence about what really happened, evidence that could clear my name." Mai's expression softened almost imperceptibly. "I have more than that. I have video proof that General Daxon, our own commanding officer, deliberately sabotaged the mission." She activated a small, holographic projector. "Watch this." The projection showed General Alman Daxon, a senior Unified Accord commander, passing classified data to representatives from Augmentech Corporation. The audio was crystal clear. Daxon promised continued access to military prototypes in exchange for substantial under-the-table payments. The timestamp showed it was recorded just hours before the Venera 6 mission launched. "Daxon abandoned our team because we were getting too close to his arrangement with Augmentech," Mai explained. "He never sent the extraction team he promised. He wanted us eliminated as potential witnesses." Cole stared at the footage in stunned silence. "This is enough to bring him before the Oversight Council." "That's the plan," Mai said. "But I can't trust anyone in the standard channels. Daxon has people everywhere." "What about the rest of the team?" Cole asked. "Crescent, Lightfoot, the others?" Mai's expression darkened. "Scattered. Some were reassigned. Others disappeared. I've been on the run for the past year, ever since I acquired this footage." Cole noticed how she avoided meeting his eyes directly. "There's something else, isn't there? Something you're not telling me." Mai finally looked at him directly, anger and hurt flashing in her eyes. "Do you remember when we got separated during the reactor meltdown? You ordered me to secure the East Wing while you checked the core?" Cole nodded slowly. "I remember. I was trapped when the first explosion hit. Comms were down. Emergency bulkhead sealed me in." Her voice grew tighter. "I waited for you to come back for me, like you promised you would. but you never did.
I tried.
I had to cut through 3 blast doors with a laser torch. By the time I reached the extraction point, there was nothing but debris and bodies. Her hands clenched around her rifle. I thought you were dead until reports surfaced about a rogue operative matching your description. The weight of 3 years of misunderstanding hung between them. I searched for you, Cole said quietly. When I regained consciousness after the explosion, the entire East Wing was in flames. I called your name until my voice gave out. When I finally broke through to your position, all I found was blood and your broken communicator. I thought you were dead. Mai's expression remained guarded. I don't know if I can trust you anymore, Cole. But this video is real, and I need to get it to someone who can act on it before Daxon realizes I'm still alive. Cole and Mai formulated a plan, while Wraith secured their perimeter. If they could transmit the video evidence to the Oversight Council on Corellon 2, Daxon's corruption would be exposed. But direct transmission from Lakor Prime was impossible due to unified accord monitoring of all outgoing communications. We need to reach the Corellon Ring Station, Mai explained. It's a processing hub orbiting Corellon 2, mostly staffed by technical specialists. Security is lighter, and there are fewer surveillance cameras. From there, we can use a secure orbital uplink to transmit directly to the Council. As they finalized their preparations, Wraith returned with disturbing news. The Black Tiger Triad has sent an acid spine to hunt you, he said grimly. They're working with Daxon now. An acid spine? Cole's blood ran cold. I thought those were just stories to scare new recruits. Very real, Mai confirmed. Genetically modified predators native to Lakor Prime. They can track a specific genetic signature across any terrain, and their acidic fangs can penetrate standard armor. As if summoned by their discussion, a bone-chilling howl echoed through the ruins. It's already here, Wraith whispered. The creature emerged from between 2 fallen columns, a nightmarish fusion of reptile and insect. Its elongated body covered in translucent scales that dripped with corrosive fluid. 6 jointed legs supported its massive frame, and a mouth filled with serrated teeth opened to reveal secondary jaws that extended like a grotesque proboscis. Split up, Cole commanded, falling back into his role as team leader. Mai, get to higher ground and target its neural cluster between the shoulder blades. Wraith, flank left and draw its attention. I'll create a diversion. They moved with practiced coordination, despite their years apart. Mai scaled a crumbling structure with nimble precision, positioning her rifle as Cole fired several shots to attract the acid spine's attention. The creature whirled toward him, its movements unnaturally fast for its size. Cole barely dodged its first lunge, feeling the burn of acid spray as it missed him by centimeters. He rolled behind a stone column, which immediately began to sizzle where the creature's secretions had splashed it. Mai's precision shots struck the creature's armored hide, momentarily stunning it. Wraith capitalized on the distraction, launching a barrage of concentrated fire at its exposed underbelly. The acid spine let out a deafening screech and changed tactics, climbing a vertical column with shocking agility and lunging directly toward Mai's position. Mai, move! Cole shouted, but she was already adjusting her aim, focusing on the creature's open mouth as it leaped toward her. Time seemed to slow as Cole watched the acid spine sail through the air toward Mai. With perfect timing, she fired a single shot directly into the creature's gullet, then rolled sideways as it crashed into her perch. The impact sent both Mai and the wounded acid spine tumbling toward the ground. Cole sprinted forward, heart pounding as he saw Mai struggling to free herself from beneath the creature's twitching limb. The acid spine, though mortally wounded, made one final, desperate attack. Its fangs slashed across Mai's arm as Cole reached them, driving his combat knife deep into the creature's brainstem. With a final convulsion, the predator collapsed, its body sliding into a deep acid pit where it dissolved with a hissing finality. Mai clutched her injured arm, her stealth suit torn and sizzling where the acid spine's acid had penetrated. Cole quickly administered a neutralizing agent from his medkit, then examined the wound. The suit absorbed most of it, he said with relief. But you'll need proper medical attention. Mai met his gaze, the shared danger momentarily bridging the gulf between them. Just like old times, she said, with a faint smile that quickly faded. Except now we know who really set us up. Cole lifted her gently, supporting her weight as they made their way back to Wraith. We'll get to Coraline Ring and expose Daxon. I promise you. Mai, this time, I won't leave you behind. The Coralon Ring Station hung like a massive metal halo around the upper atmosphere of Coralon 2. Its structure dedicated primarily to data processing and communications. Unlike the heavily fortified main planetary installations, the ring operated with a minimal security presence, relying instead on automated AI surveillance systems that monitored every movement through its corridors. Cole and Mai, disguised as technical consultants, waited at a service entrance while Wraith worked his connections to secure transit passes. The temporary biomask Cole had received was already beginning to fade. They had less than 4 hours before his true identity would register on the station's scanners. Remember, Mai whispered as they approached the entry checkpoint. We need to reach the uplink hub on level 3. The system there allows direct transmission to the Oversight Council's secure channel. The automated scanner bathed them in blue light as they presented their forged credentials. For a tense moment, the system seemed to hesitate, its algorithms detecting something unusual. Then the light turned green, and the security barrier retracted. Transit approved. Welcome to Coraline Ring, specialists, the AI announced. The interior of the station hummed with the constant background noise of data processing. Technicians moved purposefully through the corridors, most ignoring the new arrivals. Overhead, security cameras tracked their movement, their AI systems constantly analyzing behavior patterns for anomalies. Mai led them through a maze of maintenance corridors, avoiding the main thoroughfares where facial recognition would be more sophisticated. Her injured arm was bandaged, but still caused her visible pain as they climbed utility ladders and squeezed through service ducts. Finally, they reached the uplink hub, a circular chamber lined with data terminals, each secured behind transparent partitions. A handful of technicians worked at various stations, while a central console controlled access to the main transmission array. The security is layered, Mai explained quietly. We need to bypass the AI monitoring system first, then access the Council's secure channel. I'll handle the decryption if you can create a distraction. Cole nodded, positioning himself near the entrance, while Mai approached a secondary console. She attached a small device to the underside of the terminal, a signal interceptor that would create a brief loop in the camera feeds, hiding their activities from the station's AI. With practiced efficiency, Mai's fingers flew across the interface, exploiting vulnerabilities in the system's architecture. Cole kept watch, his heart pounding as each recalibration of the security cameras presented a moment of potential discovery.
I'm in,
Mai announced after several tense minutes.
uploading the video now.
The data transfer began, progress bar slowly advancing as the critical evidence made its way toward the Oversight Council. Just as the upload reached completion, a holographic communication request appeared on their terminal. Wraith's face materialized in the projection. Have you secured the transmission? Upload complete, Mai confirmed. The Council will receive it directly. Good. We need additional security, Wraith said. Establish direct communication with Inspector Balin in the Justice Division. He can provide immediate protection once the evidence is reviewed. Cole frowned, something in Wraith's phrasing triggering his instincts. Wait, he said, studying the holographic projection more carefully. Wraith, what was the code phrase we established on Venera 6? A flicker of hesitation crossed the Zexcel's features before he responded. Sunset Protocol. Cole's blood ran cold. The correct answer should have been Midnight Cascade. Mai, cut the transmission, he ordered sharply. It's not Wraith. Before Mai could react, a plasma beam sliced through the air where she had been standing seconds earlier. Cole had yanked her aside just in time, the shot impacting the console instead. The real Wraith emerged from the shadows, a plasma cannon humming with deadly energy. I almost had you both, he snarled. General Daxon was right. Sentiment is your weakness. Cole. You betrayed us, Cole said, positioning himself between Wraith and Mai. You were working with Daxon all along. The winning side pays better, Wraith replied coldly. Nothing personal, just removing the last witnesses. The Zexal fired again, the plasma bolt searing the air. Cole launched himself forward, tackling Wraith with enough force to send them both crashing into a waste disposal chute. They tumbled down the narrow channel, striking the metal sides as they fell toward the radiation containment level. They landed hard on a processing platform, surrounded by containers of low-level radioactive waste. Wraith's artificial spine cracked audibly on impact, but the Zexal still managed to swing his weapon toward Cole. With a desperate lunge, Cole knocked the plasma cannon from his former comrade's hands, sending it skittering across the platform and into the radioactive disposal pit below. It's over, Wraith, Cole gasped, blood trickling from a cut above his eye. The Zexal laughed, a gurgling sound that revealed internal injuries. It's just beginning. Daxon knows about the transmission. His elite Battleforge units are already on their way. Mai will never make it off this station alive. Cole left Wraith incapacitated on the platform and raced back up the emergency ladder. When he finally reached the uplink hub, he found Mai slumped against a wall, a plasma burn scorching her shoulder armor. Mai! He rushed to her side, quickly assessing the wound. The plasma had penetrated her protective gear, causing a deep, cauterized injury that was bleeding profusely. The transmission. It went through. She managed through gritted teeth. But the system locked down. Emergency protocols. Cole applied a polymed patch to the wound, stimulating artificial clotting. We need to get you out of here. Daxon's Battleforge units are inbound. Too late for that, came a new voice. Cole turned to see a group of people in civilian attire entering the hub. Their leader, a half-Zexal, half-human woman with distinctive facial markings, stepped forward. Dahlia Quell, Mai said with obvious relief. Venus renegades.
In the flesh,
Dahlia confirmed.
We intercepted chatter about a transmission from this hub. Thought you might need extraction.
You know each other? Cole asked, still cradling Mai protectively. We served together before I joined Black Halcyon, Mai explained weakly. Dahlia went AWOL after the Beltway massacre. Dahlia knelt beside them, examining Mai's injury with a professional eye.
This needs proper treatment. We have advanced medical supplies on our ship. She glanced at Cole. You must be the famous Commander Marcus. Mai never quite believed you were a traitor.
I need to get her somewhere safe, Cole said urgently.
Shiphaven is beyond Unified Accord jurisdiction, Dahlia offered. But nothing comes free in this sector. We need something in return.
Name it, Cole replied without hesitation. General Daxon's vault on Corellon II contains self-modulating weapons technology stolen from frontier worlds. Help us retrieve that data, and we'll ensure Mai receives the best care and safe passage to Shiphaven. Mai gripped Cole's arm weakly. We can't trust anyone right now. Cole looked from Mai's injured form to Dahlia's calculating gaze. This is the only way to save you, he told Mai softly, then turned to Dahlia. We have a deal. Daxon's data vault on Corellon II was a fortified underground complex, connected to the surface by a network of heavily guarded tunnels. Plasma walls, drone sentries, and biometric checkpoints created layers of security that would have been impenetrable under normal circumstances. But these were far from normal circumstances. With Mai stabilized aboard Dahlia's ship and the Venus renegades providing tactical support, Cole found himself leading an unlikely strike team into the heart of Unified Accord territory. The main security hub is 2 levels down, Dahlia explained, as they gathered in a maintenance tunnel beneath the primary complex. Mai provided the access codes to bypass the outer perimeter. But once inside, we'll have less than 10 minutes before the system detects the intrusion. Cole studied the holographic layout of the facility. Mai should handle the biometric overrides from here. Her injury means she can't move quickly, but her hacking skills are essential. He turned to Dahlia and her 3 renegades. Your team will create a diversion at the eastern quadrant while I penetrate the main vault. The plan was set into motion with practiced precision. Mai, pale but determined, connected to the facility's network through a portable interface, systematically disabling security nodes as Cole and the strike team advanced. The first layer of defenses fell easily, then the second. As they penetrated deeper into the complex, Cole couldn't shake the feeling that it was going too smoothly. "Something's wrong," he whispered into his comm. "The drone guard response is too limited." As if in answer to his suspicion, a squadron of sleek, hovering drones suddenly activated, emerging from concealed wall panels. Blue targeting lasers crisscrossed the dimly lit corridor as the machines locked onto the intruders. "EMP grenade! Now!" Cole shouted, throwing a magnetic disruptor that temporarily disabled the nearest drones. Mai worked furiously from her remote position, attempting to override the drone control systems. The firefight intensified as Cole and the renegades pushed forward through increasingly determined resistance. They fought their way through narrow corridors, using the confined space to their advantage against the technological superiority of the defensive systems. Just as they reached the antechamber to the main vault, the lighting shifted to a pulsing red, and a new security protocol engaged. "Cole, we've got bigger problems." Mai's voice crackled through the comm. "I'm detecting multiple high-level security authorizations entering the complex. It's Daxon himself, and he's brought what's left of Black Halcyon with him." Before Cole could respond, the massive vault doors at the end of the corridor slid open, revealing General Alman Daxon, flanked by 6 operatives in distinctive black tactical gear. Cole recognized their faces immediately, former teammates, now under Daxon's direct command. "Cole Marcus," Daxon's voice echoed in the chamber, his tall, imposing figure stepping forward. "The prodigal commander returns. I've been expecting you." "It's over." "Daxon," Cole called back. "The Oversight Council has the video. They know what you did at Venera 6, and they know about your arrangement with Augmentech." Daxon smiled thinly. "A regrettable complication, but hardly terminal to my career. The Council moves slowly, and evidence has a way of disappearing during deliberations." He signaled to his operatives. "Take him alive for questioning. The woman doesn't leave this facility." The former Black Halcyon members moved with practiced coordination, spreading out to flank Cole's position. Dahlia and her renegades returned fire, creating a chaotic crossfire in the confined space. Cole used the distraction to advance on Daxon directly, ducking behind cover as energy weapons scorched the walls around him. He needed to reach the general, to confront the man who had betrayed everything the Unified Accord supposedly stood for. Meanwhile, Mai worked desperately to hack into the main system, but found herself locked out by emergency protocols. With no choice left, she patched directly into the facility's power grid, risking detection to transmit the data to the Unified Accord's central servers. "Transmission bandwidth compromised," she reported. "Cole, I can't maintain the secure link. We're being jammed." In the vault, Cole finally came face to face with Daxon amid the chaos of the firefight. The general drew an officer's sidearm, aiming it squarely at Cole's chest. "You were always a disappointment, Marcus," Daxon sneered. "Taking responsibility for Venera 6 when you should have simply disappeared. Your misplaced sense of honor made you a liability. And your greed made you a traitor," Cole retorted. "You sacrificed your own operatives for profit." "I sacrificed expendable assets for the greater good," Daxon corrected. The Augmentech partnership provides technologies the Unified Accord desperately needs. A few lives weighed against millions. An easy calculation. I have the video, Cole said. The Council will see what you really are. Daxon's expression hardened. The video is meaningless without witnesses. Once you and Santos are eliminated, it becomes nothing but unverifiable data, easily dismissed as a fabrication. A sudden explosion rocked the facility, momentarily distracting Daxon. Cole seized the opportunity, lunging forward and knocking the weapon from the general's hand. They grappled fiercely, years of combat training evident in each calculated move. Cole landed a devastating blow to Daxon's sternum, sending the general staggering backward. He retrieved Daxon's fallen weapon, an Edgebreaker X energy pistol, a prototype that had never been officially sanctioned for production. Through his comm, Cole heard Mai cry out in pain. A third plasma shot had nearly killed her. She was pinned down with Dahlia's remaining renegades, her life hanging by a thread. Something inside Cole snapped. The man who had meticulously planned his every move for 3 years of hiding abandoned all caution. With cold precision, he aimed the Edgebreaker at General Daxon. "Cole, don't!" Mai's voice crackled through his comm. "We need him alive to testify." But Cole saw only the man responsible for the deaths of his teammates, for Mai's suffering, for 3 years of exile. His finger tightened on the trigger. The Edgebreaker discharged with a sound like tearing fabric. General Alman Daxon collapsed without a word, a cauterized wound where his heart had been. In the aftermath of the assault, alarms blared throughout the facility as automated systems registered the general's life signs terminating. The remaining Black Halcyon operatives, seeing their commander fall, retreated in tactical formation, covering their withdrawal with suppressing fire. Cole raced to Mai's position, finding her barely conscious, her medical patches saturated with blood. Dahlia and her one surviving renegade were attempting to stabilize her condition. "The transmission," Cole asked urgently. "Complete," Mai whispered. "Before the jamming kicked in, the Council has everything." Cole lifted her gently. "We need to get out of here. Now." "The main exit is sealed," Dahlia reported. "But there's an emergency evacuation tube 2 levels up. If we hurry, we might make it before the Battleforge units lock down the entire facility." They fought their way upward through increasingly desperate resistance. With Daxon dead, the Unified Accord had temporarily suspended Operation Whiteout, but a new alert had been issued. Locate and eliminate Cole Marcus, Priority Alpha. Mai drifted in and out of consciousness as they reached the evacuation tube. The narrow passage would carry them to an external dock, where Dahlia's second team waited with an extraction vessel. "Go," Cole urged, helping Dahlia secure Mai in the transport harness. "Get her to Ship Haven. I'll cover your escape." "What about you?" Dahlia asked. "I'll find another way out," Cole promised. "Mai's survival is all that matters now." As the evacuation tube sealed and launched Dahlia and Mai toward safety, Cole turned to face the approaching security forces. He had done what he came to do, ensured Mai's evidence reached the Council, and eliminated the man responsible for Venera 6. Whatever happened now was secondary. But as Unified Accord reinforcements breached the upper level, Cole discovered an unexpected escape route, a maintenance shaft that led to the facility's waste disposal system. He slipped through the narrow opening, just as energy weapons fire scorched the wall where he had been standing. The journey back to Sagittarius 7 was a blur of stolen transports and false identities. When Cole finally arrived at the familiar corridors of Eclipse Cantina, he found the establishment in disarray. The Six-Fingered Gray Syndicate had taken Captain Luya Var hostage during his absence, using her as leverage in their ongoing conflict with the Black Tiger Triad. Cole faced an impossible choice: attempt to rescue Luya, who had once saved his life in Eclipse, or focus on finding Mai, ensuring her recovery at Ship Haven. With Operation Whiteout still potentially active, his time was limited. In the end, there was no real choice. He left an encrypted signature in the Eclipse's communication system. The truth is exposed. Trust no one. But the unified accord can no longer hide in darkness. Then he disappeared once more, this time with a clear destination in mind. 1 month later, Mai Santos opened her eyes to the sterile white ceiling of a medical bay on Ship Haven. The independent station floated at the edge of charted space, beyond the reach of unified accord jurisdiction. Her wounds had healed, though a new scar across her shoulder would always remind her of Coralon Ring. As her vision cleared, she became aware of a figure sitting by the viewport, silhouetted against the stars. Cole Marcus watched the endless void without speaking, his profile etched with the weight of recent events. No words passed between them, only a shared glance filled with regret and tentative hope. They had both lost and found each other again in the chaos of betrayal and vindication. On Central Worlds, Mai's video evidence had created a political earthquake within the unified accord. 2 central generals had been removed from command, and public hearings against Augmentech Corporation had begun. The criminal networks on Coralon 2 were in disarray, their protection from high places suddenly withdrawn. Cole remained outside the law. He was the man who had executed General Daxon without trial. But in the shadowy corners of the galaxy, his reputation had transformed. Once a ghost hiding from his past, he was now known as the destroyer of tyrants. Back on Sagittarius 7, in the rebuilt corner of Eclipse Cantina, the hologram lamp flickered to green as Haley's AI detected an approaching vessel. Your reputation echoes throughout the confluence. Cole. The AI's synthesized voice announced to the empty room. Someone is looking for you. Cole Marcus was no longer anonymous. He had become a flame against the darkness, standing in opposition to corruption wherever it appeared, and no one yet knew what the long night ahead would bring, or who would step forward to join his cause. In the vastness of space, the game of power and shadows continued. But now, a new player had emerged from the darkness, the lone human that everyone feared.